This is Force on Force, a bracket-style tournament pitting the branches of our military head-to-head on the water. The site is Lake Fork in northeast Texas. The commander for this operation is Major Cody Robertson. Each matchup begins in the top, the Tactical Operations Center, set up lakeside, where Major Robertson delivers the rules of engagement for the day.
Yes! Yes! This is what we come to Lake Fork for. Air Force! You lose, Air Force! Yes! Yes! Yeah! Hell yeah! Yeah! That's what I'm talking about! Yeah!
This is a semifinal matchup, the Marines against the Air Force. The winning team advances to the Force on Force Championship.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're gonna do this thing.
Yeah.
Gonna whip it on today.
It is time to get it on.
The Marine Bass Angler team advanced past the prelims with the largest fish of the first round, an 8+ pounder that lit up the scales and the confidence of the Marine Corps team of Scott Deaton and Matt Rivera. The duo is riding high heading into today's matchup.
Oh, look who it is.
The Air Force.
What do y'all know about a boat? That thing ain't got no wings.
The Air Force team of Brian Wooten and Mike Schnupp advanced past the first round thanks in large part to an Army team that blanked in the tough Lake Fork conditions.
Oh yeah, we got this. This is money in the bag.
You better bring it, come on.
I brought it, buddy. I brought my A game right beside me. This is the first time in Force on Force history where all Army Bass Angler teams have been eliminated by the other services. So,
Hoorah!
congratulations to you guys, and we wish you the best of luck out on the water. With that said, the country is still at war for 12+ years. It's time to bring a esprit de corps of competition, just like we're doing right now, back to the waters of Lake Fork for the semifinals. No changes to the previous operation. It's still a 4-hour operation. This is a slot lake. Again, 0 to 16 counts, 16 to 24 does not count, 24 and over does count towards your 5-fish limit for this operation and big bass. You still only have 6 Ardent Denny Brauer Pro Series rods to use between the two of you to figure out which pattern and who's using what. You've defeated your previous team, so now you have your combat load from Strike King that you were originally issued, plus the Strike King combat load that you got from the defeated team. So now you have twice the combat power that you had before for this operation. So are there any questions at this time?
No, sir.
No, sir. All right, gentlemen, bring it in tight for your G2 Intelligence Lake Report.
Here's your G2 Lake Report. The tough conditions on Lake Fork appear to be improving somewhat. Wind is down from the preliminary rounds and coming from a more southerly direction. Temperatures are still cool this morning, starting in the low 40s, on their way up to a daytime high of 62. Winds are between 5 to 10 miles per hour, but are gusty on some parts of the lake. Overall water levels are low, placing a premium on boat navigation.
All right, gentlemen. Air Force Bass Anglers, who are you fishing for this operation in the semifinals? Veterans Outdoors, Marine Bass Anglers, who are y'all representing?
Soldier's Child Foundation.
Soldier's Child Foundation. Just a reminder, we're in the semifinals. There's now $5,000 on the line to move forward to the championship as you represent each one of your task force nonprofits for this operation. And one last key piece. This is also for bragging rights for the 2014 Force on Force Championship. Everybody understand what's on the line?
Right.
Outstanding. We'll shake hands and let's fish.
Good luck, guys. Good luck.
Look out there, guys. Be
Y'all
safe.
be safe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't think the Air Force is ready for this one.
No, Air Force is not ready.
They're gonna be like, we hadn't been out of air conditioning for this long, and I don't know how long.
Hey, this ain't a flyover. Look how much snivel gear that dude's putting on, huh?
Oh man.
It looks like he's getting ready to rob a bank.
What's wrong with that? Well, it's gotta be like 60 degrees out here. He's not
Are you
used to
cold
that.
or what?
I'm not cold.
Y'all call this tight fish.
No, we call that snivel gear. You're now at SnivelCon 1, you understand?
Hey, good luck out there, y'all.
Get it on.
That's a better one. I know, I got you. That's a better one. They relate to this grass and they're following this worm out and then they're just crushing it.
Force on Force is brought to you by All Seasons Feeders, by Ardent, by Bass Angler Magazine, and by Oakley.
The last month I was in, I was working in an office, and one of the guys that was working there, he actually got injured in reconnaissance training, and so he was there. He was like my secretary, I guess you could call it. He just kind of answered the phones and wrote schedules and stuff. This was just personally from him to me, and that means a lot to me because the reason I went there was to make an impression on those guys and help them. He got all this 550 cord and he took his own time to make this, so I don't know if you can see this in this detail that it is, but on one side it has my name right here, it has my last name, Rivera, and then you can see all this weaving that's in here. I mean, you could just imagine the time it took to make this thing, and then on the other side it has my MOS 0311, which is an infantry rifleman, which was my base MOS for 9 years. So I mean, the detail and everything that he put in this thing is just unreal. And that he took his own time to do that. And it just shows, there are some guys that appreciate the effort that you put in.
Let's check in on the Air Force. They've just completed a 30-minute run knowing that every second counts in a 4-hour tournament. When the pressure is on every cast, here's a great way to start.
There you go. Here we go. Couple casts into the day. Look inside her mouth. She's got like some sort of little bug or something inside there. On the roof of her mouth and not at the bottom. Not too sure what that is, but might have been in that vegetation and just eating whatever she can get. 1.25, that seems to be our going first fish of today. Water feels a little bit warmer to us today, but it's probably because it's a little bit colder outside.
This semifinal round is barely a half hour old, and the Air Force is on the board. Just 4 minutes later,
that's a better one. I know, I got you. That's a better one. A little bit better quality fish there. They relate to this grass and they're following this worm out and then they're just crushing it. A little bit of a chunk, 1.69. So go ahead and hurry up and get her out of here and get her back in the water. If this is a sign of what's to come, they keep getting bigger, we'll be all right. Today's been, so far, it's been a quick they'll tap it twice and then they're just engulfing it. They're not, you don't really feel them holding on to it. You feel that quick little tick tick.
While the Air Force is celebrating 2 quick strikes, the Marines are fishing the same area, which in the first round produced both the largest and the smallest fish of the tournament. Scott Deaton not only secured the big 8+ pounder, but Deaton also caught a fish on the other end of the spectrum.
That is .22.
But today is another day. Even though the weather patterns seem to indicate better fishing, Scott Deaton knows Lake Fork gives and takes.
Everything can change in 5 casts. You can literally be sitting on this lake and those fish turn on and you're in the right spot and you can have 40 pounds of fish in the boat in 5 casts. But it happens. Lake Fork's a heartbreaker. It'll make you cry for joy or cry for sadness.
We will have a little of both when Force on Force semifinal round returns. Force on Force is brought to you by BioBore Fuel Additives, by Power Pole, the shallow water anchor, by Strike King, and by Skeeter Boats. This is Force on Force, semi-final round edition. The Air Force and Marines are battling on the water for a right to fight for the championship and win needed money for the military nonprofit. The Marines are fishing for a Soldier's Child Foundation, while the Air Force is fishing for Veterans Outdoors. The winner gets to donate $5,000.
We need like 5 12-inchers.
It's not bad.
Actually, you come to Lake Fork and you're like, I just need one 12-incher to start the day. That would be great.
While the Marines are still looking for their first fish,
All right. Okay, see if you can back us out. I mean, we can't sit here, and it's just, this is just one spot out of.
I just wanted to hit this up a little bit and then we'll move.
Okay. Since you're doing that, you got one? Yeah, you got one.
Yep. So we got the scale again. 0. Pretty long, but they don't think she's 16. But I'm gonna go ahead and just throw her on her. Rather be safe than sorry. She's right at 15, so like I said, it's always good to double check. You don't want to get, weigh a fish that doesn't count or anything like that. You don't want to cheat anybody.
You're gonna need a new hook. You're gonna need a new hook.
Okay.
All the way I could
134. 134. Little skinny. She's long, but she's skinny. So I'd put her back.
Air Force angler Brian Wooten found more than just skills and brotherhood in the military.
My dad was in the Air Force. And I grew up without my dad. Had a few stepfather figures in between there, but basically it's just been my mom and I. And I was missing something in my life. Couldn't quite put my finger on what it was that I was missing, but I was loaning for something. Knew he was in the military, so I joined. Didn't at that time know what his AFSC was or his MOS, his job training was, but knew that he had to go to Lackland Air Force Base, where everybody goes. So I felt that I went there, and immediately I had some sense of connection to him. Went through my military career, got out. My grandmother had passed something along to me, and it was a letter from the President of the United States thanking my father, which listed his job. His job and my job were the exact same job. Of course, I didn't know that, but we were both air transportation specialists. We both went to the same basic training, the same tech school. I went overseas, he didn't. What are the odds? Slim to none.
That's a great example of the heart and soul of the men and women who make up our military. Meanwhile, back on the water, Wooten's Air Force team is leading the charge with 3 keepers to the Marines' 0.
You just need the fish to get a little active, a couple of casts, 2 or 3 10-pounders, back to the rim, make fun of everybody, head to the championship.
One team goes home and another advances to the championship when Force on Force returns. Force on Force is brought to you by BioBore Fuel Additives, by Dermatone, by Bassminder, by Valley Fashions, and by FantasyBass.com, the easiest fantasy fishing to win. Register, play, win.
You know, we're Marines, and the Marine Corps was basically founded at Ton Tavern. And whether you drink or not, you know, most Marines, especially active duty guys that are traveling the world, you know, in service of the country, carry what they call a challenge coin. Every vehicle I've driven since I've got out, you'll see this has got a little deal on the back here that keeps it steady. But I mount this in my vehicle so that everybody that gets in my vehicle is able to see that, you know, I served in the Marine Corps, and I'm proud of that. But yeah, my dog tags, right? I always have them. They're either in my vehicle or on me. And these were, you know, when we graduated from boot camp, and this was the main thing aside from, you know, the uniforms and things like that. But if I'm in civilian clothes when I was in the military and things like that, out in town, doing whatever around civilians and things like that, this separated me from all of them. I'd earned the right to wear these.
We're just gonna go right over here.
Did we almost die?
We are in the waning moments of today's semifinal round. The Air Force leads the Marines 3 keepers to 0.
Oh man, we need this money for this charity. Come on, fish, help us out. Oh, so now I get stumped. Oh, did you have a tree pounder?
I did. Had a tree pounder. A tree pounder. It was a fish stick. I used to eat those.
While the Marines are struggling, this is about the only thing that has gone wrong for the Air Force.
Lost without a hat today, as you can see. It's because I lost it on the way out here. Flew out from the boat, it was underneath my leg, and the wind caught it just right. He gone.
That missing hat will come into play in a moment. But first, the Air Force thinks they may have one more fish in them.
Oh, and he's a monster, everybody. Oh my gosh, the biggest one we've caught all day. At least I've caught one. My partner, and he went out of the net. I led him to him, and my partner missed him.
He jumped as soon as we got there. Let him jump, man. You let him jump.
Well, how long do you want me to lead him around? It's all good, man. It's all good.
Now it's time to report to Major Robertson.
Hey, you want me to get the live well now, or you want to wait?
No, I'll give you something to put it in.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, we will, won't we?
Hey, did you put that fish in the starboard or the port one?
He wouldn't fit in either one of them.
Yeah.
So.
Here, I'll just turn them both on. There we go. Alrighty.
Make sure you bring those ammo cans.
Yeah, I will.
They call that booty, and I wants my booty. Yeah,
Hand those cans over, buddy?
I tell you what, you're gonna have to fight for them.
Well, congratulations, guys. You made it back. You've accomplished the first task of this mission. You've already placed your Strike King Combat Basic Load ammo cans onto the table. And what I want to point out next is just a reminder, we're about to determine who's going to the championship for 2014 Force on Force. Cool. So with that said, I just kind of want to point out the fact that there's a name and a spot right here for those guys right here. There's a spot on this plaque. So also as a reminder, you're fishing on behalf of your nonprofit, so this is their opportunity to go to the next level and possibly take home $5,000 on behalf of either Air Force bass anglers or Marine bass anglers, whoever's advancing to the next round of competition. So let's move on to 0800, sit rep by sit rep, and talk us through your day.
Launched out of here, headed up lake, lost my hat, was underneath my leg, and went out in the boat.
Stop just a minute. That means we have a uniform violation. We'll take care of that after your after-action review. Go ahead and continue at 0900.
Pulled up to our spot and pulled up, made a few casts, fishing some trees, and got bit, pulled it in. A couple casts later, got another one. Then we had another one. We had pound and a half fish, just back to back to back, and then a blight just shut off. We were catching them on the Strike King worm.
Fat baby finesse.
Fat baby finesse.
Yes, sir. We finished the day, I think it was about 4.24 pounds.
So 4.24 pounds. How many total fish?
3 fish.
3 fish, big fish?
1.69.
1.69. Wolf.
08 started at the SP right here. Headed out to checkpoint 1, made a right turn at checkpoint 1, head down, hit checkpoint 2, made a left-hand turn. After we passed the Air Force, they were backtracking to find a hat, which is pretty funny. Took a left at checkpoint 2, headed into our cove. Got to the back, we fished hard. We couldn't find anything all day. We're marking bait, we marked fish, but we couldn't get a bite. We didn't have one bite the whole day.
Air Force bass anglers, you just won the semifinal rounds of competition. You'll be moving on to the championship for the 2014 ForceOnForce champions. And now you're the proud owner of more Strike King Combat Basic Load, making you 4 times stronger than you were before for the next round of competition. We wish you the best of luck. Congratulations. You guys shake hands and move out and draw fire.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, yeah. Good job, man. Yeah, good job.
Congratulations. Excuse me, sir. I believe we're forgetting another matter.
That's right. Schnoop, get back in here. I appreciate that battle buddy. You got a Marine battle buddy here. There's a uniform violation, and with uniform violations, you know that in the military, that's a punishable under the UCMJ.
You kidding me? Go. You don't stick
Get on the ground!
your foot.
Chest out! Are you kidding me right now?
What is
that? That is not fun! You gotta be kidding me!
Oh my God!
As we check our Carhartt Force T bracket, we see the Air Force flying past the Marines and into the ForceOnForce championship.